Hey everybody, it's Sherry at the Rustic South. Oh, I believe my voice is back to normal finally. Hey, today we're going to do a craft for some grungy cupids, or angels, whatever you want to call them. But I made two different kinds, just to give you a little variety, maybe some different suggestions. One I made out of crumpled up lunch bags, and another one was made out of some leftover muslin fabric that I had. And of course we grunged up both. The paper one with paint, which you have to be very careful when it's wet because it could rip easily, but it is fixable because glue is our friend. So today we're going to do that. Hopefully you get inspired by what you see. Maybe decide to pick one of them. So here I'm going to take the angel or the cupid that I made a pattern for, and I'm going to cut it out of some paper sack or lunch bag, if you will, that I had crumpled up about 3 times just to give it some, dimension. So cut, of course, 2 of each because you need to glue them together so that you can stuff them, or you don't have to, I guess, if you don't want to stuff them. But you could just make them one dimension and not stuff them. And then you have the wings, and then here's the muslin fabric. Now I would outline them with pencil, not with any kind of marker, because you will most likely see that through the paper and the muslin. So I would just use a pencil or a fabric pencil, I think is what they're called, if you have that. And when you're tracing, trace it as normal, but when you're cutting it out, you see how I left extra on both when I cut them out. Leave some edge because you're going to use that, the pencil marking, as your glue line for when we glue them together. Okay, so again, make sure you leave extra around the edge, about 1/4 of an inch. So here I've glued the top half of the muslin one together using my hot glue gun. And just be wary that this muslin, at least the one I had, it shreds very easily, or little fibers come off of it very easily. So I also used a thing called, I think it was called, oh shoot, I can't think of the name of it. Something freeze fray or something like free, yeah, something like that. Around the edge, and what it does is it gives a kind of a hard edge. It puts glue around the edge. It makes the edges harder, more durable, so that they don't come unglued, unsewn. Let me see if I can find the name of it. It's called Fray Check. It just is glue. I found it at Joann's, and you put it around the edge. And here we're doing the same kind of thing with the wings. We're going to go all the way around the curved part, and then about halfway down the straight part so that you can still stuff it. And be super careful when you're stuffing and then gluing, because put your glue gun on low temp, because you don't want to get a glue gun burn. They hurt so bad. So just remember to do that. I did not get one, but there was a close call. Hopefully you guys, there we go. So I trim off the edges of each one of them, the parts that are fraying at this point, right before I put the fray check on it. Check all my seams to make sure I have it all closed up. And I don't do it on screen, but I take the fray check and I go all the way around the edges. Can you see the muslin one on the screen? It looks wet around the edges as well as the wings. That's from that fray check that I had put all the way around the edges, front and back. So now we're filling, closing up most of the bottom of the paper sack one. Then I realized I made the hole too small, so I had to rip it open a little bit. But that's okay, because paper is very durable. It's stuffing. You know, I can leave a little bit extra out, what have you. And I did end up ripping her a little bit around her head when I was painting her. But again, it's paper and glue and you know, stuffing. It's very easily manipulated, right? So you can't even tell that I did because of the painting and you know, the grunging that we did on it. So you wouldn't even be able to tell it if I didn't tell you. So just trim your edges, make them look nice and neat and straight. I mean, you could leave it zigzaggedy too if you want. That just adds more to the primitive. Go around your moon and glue your sides together. Again, remember to use the pencil marking that we did as your glue line. And if you're a sewer, then by all means sew this, right? You know, if you have your sewing machine out and available, go for it. I have one, but I don't have the patience to mess with it most of the time. It depends. I'm holding it upside down. Hello, the wings. So yeah, go around and trim your edges. But here in a second, I'm going to, let's see, what do I do next here? So I have some hearts I cut out. Now you see this pink one on the screen. I do have every intention of using this heart, at least in the beginning. And I grunged it up. I mean, actually on camera it looks really cute against that white, but since we're going to grunge up the white, I don't know, the pink was just too much. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. My heart of hearts couldn't let me keep the pink on there. I tried. I couldn't do it. So here I decided I'm going to cut out some hearts. So I used some more of that muslin just to cut out a small heart. And I added it to some paper. And then after I glued it to the paper, I decided that I wanted to stuff them. Right? I wanted to stuff the hearts to make them be more three-dimensional. So I think I end up doing this heart again so that I can stuff it. Or end up cutting a hole in the back of it. I can't remember how I did it. And hey, you know, I make these to put these on my tree because I told you once before I have trees, 3 of them I leave up all year long. And they're all under 4 foot. And I make these to put on my trees. And I didn't hang them. Here's where I stuff them in it. Believe me, it doesn't take very much. It's very small. You can even take some of that paper that's left over from when you cut the sack to stuff in there if you don't have any, you know, stuffing. Or you can use lint from your dryer to stuff that, right? I mean, there are all kinds of things if you don't have any old pillows or if you don't have stuffing. You know, you can stuff all kinds of different things in there. And see, I have another one there that I made. I think that's probably the one I did first that's laying there. I think I ripped the back open on it and stuffed it. And of course, we're going to grunge that up. I didn't have any measurements for the heart. See, I did. I cut open the back. I ripped up on the back on that one. I didn't have any measurements for any of the hearts. I just eyed it, you know, eyeballed it. Now we must grunge. And again, if you guys don't do grunge, painting the paper one white and putting that pink heart, that one I'm grunging now, on there would be so cute. And I do paint the paper one white, but then of course I go in with some dark brown some of my antiquing. All right, grunge up some lace. And I get out some of my not bobby pins, safety pins that I had rusted. And I did not do my rusting technique on those using the vinegar and salt and all that kind of thing. What I did, I just used spray paint and cinnamon on mine just so it wouldn't take like days to do it. Sometimes I don't have the patience, but it all, you know, it's up to each your own, right? I'm sure you can find a recipe online for grunging, for rusting wire. Those hearts turn out really cute when you grunge them. And this step is not necessary because that paper sack is so thin, it really doesn't stand up to doing that on the edges. So that's kind of a lost effort there. But anyway, gotta try, right? So there's the two white ones. Well, they were white, or cream. And now we're going to do her. Nope, we're not. We're going to do the paper one. So I get out my my Bear's White chalk paint, and it was so funny when I was painting this. I had no idea I was flinging paint like all across my table. I couldn't get over it. After I started looking around after I got done, I was like, "Oh my word!" So look, it's flick. I can see it on the screen. It's flicking everywhere. I didn't even notice it until after I was done. I was like, "Holy cow!" I was a hot mess with this paint. So don't overdo your brush. If I was outside, that'd be okay, but it was like on the wall and everywhere. It's crazy. So yeah, paint her white and her wings white, or if you want to leave her natural, and you could spray coffee stain on her if you want to just make her dark. I was going to spray coffee, do the coffee stain on the muslin one, but I just decided to do the ink pads. But the coffee staining on either one of these would be really cute. Now, and make sure if you painted white, the white is dry before you go putting the brown on, or you're going to get, yes, there's my little, you're going to get a light brown. But then what I end up doing is I paint the dark brown on, and I think my white on my gloves was not dry. So I end up getting a light brown color, which was not what I was going for. I should have kept going with just the dark instead of, you see, I start rubbing it, and it turns more of a light brown. And you have to be honest, it almost looked like a mauve purple or something. It was weird. It was kind of weird. I don't know. I couldn't get over it. But then I took a wet wipe, and I started wiping off the dark brown. And I like how it got into the crevices of the paper, the dark brown. I like the look of it. It was more of what I was going for, but I really did want it darker. But the burnt umber on top of this white was not exactly what I wanted. So if I were you, maybe not paint the white at all and just use the dark brown. And then maybe wipe it back then. And some of the lighter brown will come through instead of the white. Of course, make it your own. But I think that's what I would do next time, was I would not do the white, and I would do the dark brown on the paper, and then wipe some of the dark brown back, and then you'll have light brown and dark brown instead of white and dark brown. So now we're going to do the wings. I mean, they do turn out cute. But there's always something different that you would rather have done, right? Something you would change. Anyway, they're on my tree and they look cute. I hope you guys are inspired to do something similar to this. And I was torn between calling them cupids or angels. Because I opted not to give them legs. I opted to make it, straight across on the bottom. So, and then I tried, you see the sticks on the screen. Forgive me, my voice is cracking around. I tried to use the sticks to make, Cupid's arrows. And I just couldn't get it incorporated to make it look right. So the sticks did not end up in the craft. Now here I'm antiquing it with my distressed oxide and the black, which of course gives it that old, grungy, brownish, yellowish. Because the color I'm using is, I think, vintage photo. It gives it that grungy, yellowish look to it, which I'm totally fine with. So that and some of the black. But anyway, back to the sticks. I could not make them look like the way I would want them to look. So I opted not to use the sticks. And here I'm using that distressing tool. Now it's working okay on this because of the edges are stiff because of the glue. But what it does do is it just flakes, not flake, but it makes the edges look lighter because of the, I don't know, I'm not sure why, but see, I ripped it there. You can see right there, I show you, see, I ripped it. You just glue it back together and it'll be fine. I did, and you would never even know it. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about distressing the edges with scissors. Maybe with, putting black around it or some dark brown. Definitely. So this looks like old fabric, right? If you guys haven't tried paper bags, you really should try it. It really turns out amazing when you do it. And don't be afraid of the paper bags, right? I know they're thin and you can push your limit with it a little, but give it a try. It's just paper and it can be glued, right? You can always use more glue. Now on the muslin, putting the distressed oxide stamp on there really looks nice. I like that one. If I had to do it again, I would do a few more of those. Also, I did not make any name tags or any kind of tags to put on these, but see the difference in the grunge and the not grunged, the difference in the color. It really is a big difference. And also too, which I did not do, but would be a good idea, is to take your cinnamon and rub it all over the fabric. If you want it grungy, of course, rub it all over the fabric of the muslin. I would do it after you do the stamping. And that would give it a darker color, right? Rub it into the fabric, and it would really give it a much, much darker, grungier. And you could do it in spots, right? You don't have to do the entire thing unless you want it. But someday I need to do something like this, but make them really, really dark so it looks like they've been around for ages, right? Really ages. I don't know, sometimes I just stop because I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to go too far, right? I want to have to start it over again or not like it, you know? I'm so sorry. I don't have any water here and my throat is getting so dry. But we're almost done. So there you go. I mean, that's essentially, and there's the sticks that I tried to use, but it just did not work out. So yeah, this stuff, I think you find it at Christmas time, Hobby Lobby. And what I did was I took my sponge with some of the distressed oxide on it, and I grunged it up, that rope. And then now I'm gluing the hearts on the front of the paper Cupid. And they turn out really cute. And I don't put faces on mine because one thing, I don't like drawing faces. If you guys want to draw faces on yours, by all means, go for it. But I would not have done it any justice, so I did not put any faces on them. I prefer them without faces. Right, so yeah, so just glue them on the back. And you know, one thing I thought maybe might be a good idea is to maybe stuff the wings a little less. Put less in them next time. So they're a little flatter. They don't need to be quite that puffy, but up to you. And then I'm going to put, so the pink heart, yeah, there it is. I have every intention of trying to use it, but oh boy, I just can't make myself do it. So here we go, homespun. You should have known I was going to get out some homespun. Got to put it somewhere. So now we're going to make a heart. We're going to use homespun to make a heart for the Grungy Angel. Of course, I like it much better because I like my homespun. And it turns out to be a cute little addition to the front of it, right? And yes, I stuff it. Again, make sure your heat gun is on low temp when you're doing stuff like this because it is right on the edge of that little teeny heart. No burns. So here I think I kind of get this off camera a little bit, and I'm so sorry I didn't realize I was off camera stuffing this, but you know how to stuff something, right? You know how to tear it up in little pieces so that it can be better manipulated. And there's, I use the stick there to stuff the heart. So we are almost done with the craft. I hope you guys are enjoying it, and I hope you'll give it a try. So we're going to finish stuffing this heart, and we're going to glue it closed. And then I'm going to get a piece of twine, and I kind of try to manipulate it around like I did the other one, but I changed it up a little. I brought it actually around over her neck and down the front and the end. I ended up putting it around her neck and draping it loosely down the front. See, now doesn't that look better than the pink? Yeah, definitely. Nope, nope, not working. So I take the pin out of that, put the lace and the pin over on that one, and call it done. Yeah, that looks way better than any pink would have looked. At least for my grungy style. Yes, I was trying to manipulate different ways to wrap the hearts with, and I couldn't get it to work. Now here you see me doing around her arms, but I changed that. I didn't like it. It was pulling her arms in, like you see how it's pulling. I didn't like that, so what I ended up doing is I ended up bringing it around her neck and draping it down the front, like, if you would, kind of like a necklace, but I left the little knot where it is, and I just put it around her neck and draped it and laid it down kind of like a necklace. You'll see in one of the finishing pictures what I ended up doing with it. Oh, I hope you guys will try this. It was fun. It was actually fun. I've never made cupids before. So there's one of each. There's a paper one and a muslin one, and here they are on my tree. So you can see I brought the string around her neck at the top and kind of laid it down over the heart instead of around her arms. Now there's the paper one. See, I brought it around her neck and kind of just laid it loosely around her neck area instead of around her arms the way I had it. So they turned out so cute and look really cute on the tree. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.